I loved it. Being a girl was fun. You wouldn't wear a lot of pants. You wore a lot of dresses and a lot of skirt weather. It was fun. That's all I could say. I loved going to school. I loved the people I went to school with. And being a girl, the 50s, the 40s, the 50s, were great. And you were. I had a dog, but it was more lawns and staying expensive. She probably always had a dog. But my dad, he was for a while. He owned the Buick business. And in the Buick business in those days was Frigidaire. So you had GMC and you had Frigidaire together. You couldn't go in and buy Frigidaire without looking at a car. Maybe you got a double deal. But then in the early 60s, they separated. So you had a Buick place, which my dad built. Was the building behind the Grass Valley Forest now. But that is not the building he built. His building was torn down, and they built a new building. It's a title company, I think, from in there now. But the same size building. Frigidaire was down the street, and the gentleman that owned that was Clint Fulson. And I don't know what happened to Frigidaire. It kind of just faded out, and I guess you can still buy Frigidaire. I don't know. I've never kept track of it. But yeah, I love being a girl, and you were. Nobody got anything and you didn't earn the dollar to get it. You could buy penny candy. Loved that. 5 nickel ice cream cone. Thought it was great. Go to the show. I can get 50 cents enhanced at least 15 cents when I got home, and that was going to the show and buying a big bag of popcorn and a drink. And I still had 15 cents left over. So tell me it wasn't good. It was great. So, and you got a movie, a cereal, the news, and a cartoon for a quarter. Whatever it was a thing. It was great. So I think my kids and myself and that was the best time we ever had in Grass Valley. We had logging. We still had mining. And it's not a very big Mill Street. So I do remember the stores that were there. They're all gone, except Holy Alice still there, but they don't call it that anymore. That's the only building I really can remember that was there when I came here. I came here in 1948, I think. Right decided left here in 52, my sophomore year. My dad sold the Buick business, and we bought Indian Valley Outpost up on Highway 49. It had burnt to the ground. And so my dad negotiated. He was 3-horse trader. Or straight down around. Get what he wanted. And he got that crossroad and we built the store. And I remember there had been a big earthslide. She couldn't get to the store. And I stop and Mr. Butts, Chester Butts, would go down and he would walk us across this narrow pathway that we covered through and take us in Indian Valley. You couldn't drive there because of the landslide. And that was in the 50s. 52, I was in Grass Valley High School in Nevada Union. It was Nevada Union, and it wasn't just Grass Valley. They had unified the school district. I started my sophomore year, and we had a big class. I graduated, we had 8. That's the biggest class they'd had in 20 years. And 2 of them came from Allegheny. So, but that was fun. Downingville was a great place to grow up. And I enjoyed that too. So, I don't know what else you want to know about me except that I was here. That's great. That was really good. I like being a girl. It was fun. I love it. That was perfect. Thank you. And having a, I never thought of anybody stealing my kids. Those thoughts were never in your mind. Yeah. Everything was great. Good night. What did your mom and Brad, what did your mom do? My mother was a social lady, socialite. You and I, if we get frustrated, we go have her hair done, or she'd go buy a new hat. She had a pair of gloves for every occasion and a hat for every occasion. That's how she lived. She was a prima donna. She'd been to UCLA and Stanford to college. She was very well educated. And she did work. She worked as, when she did work, she worked as a secretary. For shorthand was great. And she was always hired. But that's what she did. She didn't work a life. And Nana, 90 years old, never learned to drive the car. Never had to. Had a man that took care of her and did the grocery shopping and the laundry, and it was just a different world.
Did you grow up in this house too?
No, I did not. I got married in I graduated 1956. So we were married two weeks later. So we were married in the 50s. But I had been here before then, and there's a lot of history just here.
So you worked the cows and everything like that?
I go in hell, but because they go down to the canyon or down to the Alderman place, which is down in the canyon, and put on a big feed, and everybody go, Brenden and Mark, and do whatever had to be done to the cattle, and I would go. But I did not ever ride a horse. My dad did. He belonged to the sheriff's posse in Nevada City. And I was never a real horse person. They kind of frightened me. So I was not a good ranch person, but I could cook. I learned to cook. And in those days, we had what you called the blister workers. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but they worked for the Forestry Service. And they would go and work trees that were dead, work trees where all the brush was, and then they'd go in and clear it out. Well, these were the young men from Stanford, UCLA, the big colleges, Berkeley, and that's how they made their money in the summer, was working for the Penn Forestry Service credit. And with our forestry sound. Why didn't they keep it? And that's where I learned to cook with my dad. Well, she'll cook for you. Always 5 or 6 guys at the store with the poor guys. Sorry, I didn't know one. But I wish they still had that one. Because it helped me and paid for Pauline's and it kept our courses and everything. That I didn't do. It was a good stroll there.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you very much. Thanks for sitting down and enduring